Hey, good morning. Welcome to our study today from Mark chapter 4. Let's look at a recap of the chapter. Jesus addresses his followers. He shares the parable of the sower and the seed. The seed is spread in all directions. It falls on four surfaces: the road, rocky ground, among the thorns, and into the good soil. The seed fails to grow in the first three soils, but prospers in the good soil. Jesus later explains the soils represent different hearts. Only one of the four would befit the kingdom. Jesus adds two more parables that teach that growth is possible in swift and powerful ways: the overnight sprout and the large mustard plant. An event at sea tests the personal spiritual growth of the disciples. A great storm comes up and their faith falters. Jesus expects them to grow in faith and eliminate the fear that holds them back. I think we can find some application from that. Let's look at our second paragraph. Jesus uses parables to challenge the hearer. If we have a heart for him, these stories transform our lives. If we are not seeking the truth, they will have little impact. The parable of the sower reinforced Jesus' teachings. Quote, "Many will be called, but few will be chosen. Some will not listen. Some will hear and then be overcome with fear. Some will hear, but let worry and greed rule their lives. The seed, the word of God, is perfect and powerful and can completely transform us, but we must open our hearts, put all else aside, and receive his word deep within us. Even then, faith will be tested by the elements, by storms, and by trials. We must trust in Jesus." Let's look at a few questions to deepen our faith in him. Number one, what will you do today because you are striving to be the good soil? How do you keep from becoming like the rocky soil that got afraid or the thorny soil that got distracted? Question number two, do you believe change can happen in your heart and in your life? Do you believe that God can do big things through you if you let him? I believe that he can. And then thirdly, are you prepared for your faith to be tested? How will you trust in Jesus when things get scary, hard, or temptation rages around you? We're certainly going to need to pray, so let's conclude today together before God. Dear Father, your grace and love for mankind are abundantly clear in the coming of Jesus. Thank you for sharing the life-giving word with all the world. It's sad to think how many reject your word or let fear and temptation rob it from their hearts. Please soften hearts in this world and use us to share the life-changing gospel. And Father, please help the truth to sink more deeply into us as well. May we bear fruit for you, face our fears, and stand strong with trust in Jesus during the trials and the temptations of life. God, Father, Son, and Spirit has promised to help us if we go to him in those difficult times. I pray that today is a day of ease for you and certainly a day of strength. And thank you so much for listening.